Shardvixen here, and today is February 18th. It's a Sunday, because now they're all on Sundays. And the topic is love um, for Valentine's Day, or as I call it, Candy Love Day. Today's topic is about me and love, love, love. It's a really odd topic for me. I mean, I suppose it's probably odd for a lot of people, but extremely for me. I think since I've been very, very little, I've always been seeking my own love. Some of that is probably because I came from such a dysfunctional family, with a lot of violence and stuff going on, and a lot of hush hush shh, it's a secret stuff. So I think I kind of like created this romantic idea about love, and then the outside world doesn't help much, and I was a big avid reader, as we all know. So, and then I love romantic movies, but I remember being 5 and being introduced to a neighborhood kid and thinking, that's the dude for me forever and ever and ever. Sadly to say, that never happened, and was a very horrible road for me to travel down through my teenage years with that crush. And that's, and hindsight says, if that was the issue, it's probably why I am alone now. Now, I've had 2 fathers for 2 children. Separate fathers. I guess that's what 2 would mean, right? And I had one great, supposedly going to be married kind of love. That's supposed to be the end of end time love. I don't believe in marriage. If I was to believe in marriage, it would be a poly-marriage group, like, 3 guys, 3 girls, 4 guys, 4 girls, 2 guys, 2 girls, because it's of my mental health. So love for me is compounded by my mental health issues, and then my interpretation bubble. Remember we talked about bubbles? I talk about bubbles all the time. And then the outside bubble influence. When I was young, my mom encouraged me to cook. She always would say, that saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and in my case, that would be the best way to get to somebody's heart. I think it was not that she was being mean. I think that my mom, like other people, kind of sensed there was something a little ooh about me, and just felt I was going to be alone most of my life. And for her, that was not a choice she ever wanted. I mean, her first marriage didn't go so well, but her second marriage has been way longer than her first marriage, and they'll probably die together. So her idea, her romantic idea, pawned out well. And she wanted me to marry someone who could take care of me. So my grandmother knew that my grandfather was the one, when she was young. And I heard that story over and over and over and over. So I think that it kind of somehow gelled in my head. I also think that that need to find someone who would understand, protect me, and be able to help me during those bad times with my depression became a very solid thing. But, I haven't always been alone. So, I dated lots and lots of people. I was always afraid to settle down with one, because I was afraid that that person would end up not being the right person, and I would have made vows and promises, which mean an awful lot to me, and then I would have been stuck, I guess. I would have felt like I was stuck, because when you take a vow should be forever, but doesn't have to be, I guess. And so it was really hard for me to get around that. So I didn't ever want to get married. It was not my intent. I mean, I had romantic versions, the big, beautiful wedding and wonderful dresses, and the pressure that you get from outside of your bubble. You know, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? Are you ever gonna find somebody? Are you ever gonna fall in love? Are you gonna get married? You know, is intense sometimes. So you get that. You wonder, am I wrong? Should I want to get married? Should I want to find somebody? Should I? The other problem I have, and again, I attribute this to my mental health and my odd way of thinking, you know, the outside of the box thinking, is that a lot of men I meet end up becoming very, I don't know the word, jaded towards my mental health, and or are abusive. I have studied a lot of social psychology that talks about how people perceive people and how people look at other people and how they base their life around how we look. Because regardless of the fact of how we say that beauty is, you know, only skin deep, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that the beauty is deep down inside, is that you come out, we all still have a preference when we meet a person physically. We might be able to override that. We might be able to say, oh, you know what, he doesn't have those perfect arms, or he doesn't have that perfect hair, and oh, he doesn't have a perfect smile. But it's what we notice first and what we register in our head as being perfect. Now, for me, perfect is Wolverine. Perfect is those illusions that you see in the movie theater. Those are not realistic. But yet you look at someone and you're like, ah, he's so beautiful. He looks just like that. Or he has the hair of so and so, you know, a lion's mane of hair. Wow. But I don't have good luck with men. My longest relationship, besides just the relationship you have with another person who's the parent of your children, was 5 years. And of those 5 years, probably only 2 years were any good, and then the rest of the time that person was trying to break up with me. They just felt bad about breaking up with me, because they had made all these vows and all these promises and all these love you to the end of time, and they were fearful I would take my own life, because sometimes people believe what you say when you say, I can't live without you and I feel like dying. I've dated a lot in my life, and I've always tried to give people that chance. Like, it wasn't like always like woo and fireworks and wah, and it was only that way once. And that one person, well, twice in my life. It's only been that way twice in my life. And the first one, I broke his heart, and the second one broke my heart. So I guess that kind of, you know, fits in the pattern. But for me, love is really a multifaceted thing. I mean, I know that's a cliche that people say, but it's true. Because there is love that we feel. And then there's love that we feel. And then there's love we feel. And then the loves grow over a period of time. If you take a marriage and psychology class, they talk about this. They talk about how you have the initial feeling, which is called the romantic attraction feeling, or lust, as people like to say, where you see this person from afar, and it's like click. I've had that happen, where I met this person and it just like clicked. Like, we were like we'd been together forever, and it just, and then we kind of separated, didn't see each other again. Then I got invited to go to an event. That person was there. Clicked again, had a really fun time. Didn't see that person again. And then saw him at a party, and that was it. Never looked back until we broke up. Or, you know, but we had planned our wedding. All kinds of stuff went on. All kinds of adventures. And then it ended up with that person leaving. I have had those tremendous love affairs that go woo, and then up and down and all around, and like, oh, You know, the whirlwind of romance. And I think part of that is what attracts a lot of people is that romance. That's the part in the stories you like. That's the part that it's not always the happy ever after. We kind of like to know sometimes how that works at the end. But it's that first moment of meeting someone and knowing that's the person for you. That has not been very good luck for me. I meet a lot of people that I thought, that's the person for me. And they want nothing to do with me. Almost embarrassingly nothing to do with me. You know, and I'm not a quitter. So if I see a person and it clicks for me, and probably not subtly, which is my issue. But then I tell them, you know, I'm really attracted to you. You know, is there, and they're like, no, not at all. Really? You didn't feel you didn't feel any of that? And they're like, nope. In fact, I find you a little weird. That's probably the end thing in my story. Now, I've gone out. I've done computer dating, online dating, and have met some very strange individuals, I have to tell you. Even stranger than me, who think outside the box. But no, they don't really think outside the box. I meet a lot of people who have drinking problems, which is kind of sad. In Imago, which is a type of therapy that I like Imago because it has really great, teaches you communication skills that are really great. You can use them in any love relationship. So from, you know, children to parents, to parents to parents, to, you know, anybody. You can use the listening skills and conversational skills in a very effective way to make a relationship much more communicative. And as I was saying, in the marriage of psychology, as you go from that first attraction to then, you know, you start dating. And now, where in the past you went from dating to marriage. Now you have that, some people live together, which kind of helps you because you really don't get to know a person until you're intimately close. Not just in a sexual term, but also just there when they brush their teeth, there when they're sick, there when they fart, there when they burp, there when they make off-color jokes, when they do things that embarrass you, you do things that embarrass them, when they're mad at you, when you're, you know, because when you're dating and when you first meet each other, you're trying to impress. You felt the what, but now you gotta hang on to that. You gotta pull it in closer, and you've got to create a bond. And that bond is usually created on not truthfulness. It's not that we lie. It's just that we don't tell the whole story. It's kind of like having internet friends. We don't know the backstory of our internet friends until you've had them for a while and you've talked and you've gotten to know each other. So what happens is that when you live together, or in the case for those people who skip that whole living together and just go to being married, all of a sudden those parts of the person come out. The parts of where you never knew they didn't like blue cheese because they never said anything while you were dating, but now when you eat blue cheese they get really angry because they can't stand the smell. But they didn't want to upset you when they were dating. They just want to tell you. So love has these builder layers on it, that there's a period of time where that woo and love kind of mutes a little bit. I've met people and talked to people where they've never lost that part, which I find them so lucky. It's so lucky that they still have that. When you walk around the corner and you see that person there and your heart starts pounding and you're like, that's my person. That was always what I wanted. I wanted that kind of relationship, and I didn't ever really find it. And that's why I never settled down, because the one time that I thought I had it, that person didn't feel the same way. Even though we planned on getting married, and even though we planned on, you know, all these things, and even though I was asked to be married, and even though I accepted it, and we started planning, and we started building, the reality was that that person didn't really want to do it. It was like a last-ditch effort to try to rekindle on his side the feeling that he had lost that I still had. And so it took a long, long time to let go of that one. In fact, there are times when I still think about it, and I wonder, you know, what would have happened if we had been able to keep that love going. It's a sad thing when one person loves someone so deeply and the other person doesn't. Crushes don't really count, even though they have this. They're that traction that kind of just floats along because you never get to. The other person doesn't feel the same way as you do. So that's what a crush is. A crush is that woo feeling, but it never. It's just a woo from far away because you never get to know the person. Hey, sorry, my nose. It just. You just kind of. They're just there. They're just there. Like the poster of Wolverine is just there. That's a crush, but it's not. It's never going to go anywhere. First of all, because I'm never going to meet him in real life. But second of all, because a crush is not meant to go anywhere. It's a way for you to start exploring your feelings and what it means for you to date somebody. So I can't find. I used to joke because my grandmother would tell me there was, and my mother kind of same thing, but she didn't say it the same way. There's somebody for everyone. Well, if that's the case, I've either ran out of all my somebodies and they just got bored of me through the relationship. They no longer felt the same way. Or my somebody is stuck in a jungle someplace or died an early death or is in prison or someplace where I can't meet that person. I sometimes am sad about it. I mean, I'm not like overly sad. Not like, I'm not in my room going, oh. I'm not. But I see these people. You go out like to the mall or you go to, springtime is really great for it. You go out and do the walks and you see people holding, and you see couple holding their hands and you see them kind of doing that shoulder nestle. I call it the shoulder nestle. I mean, I do it with my kids and stuff, but there's something profoundly different to have someone that you're attracted to feeling the same way as you do. And I haven't had that experience a lot. A lot of my relationships are interwoven with the mental health, paranoia, obsessive behaviors, jealousy issues, abandonment issues, because that's a big one for me. Always pushing people away before they can get close because they're going to leave you anyway. That's kind of what a lot of mine. And when I take the step to accept, then find out I was wrong anyway. So after a while, I mean around 40s, I would say around like 45, 46, I was dating a lot, but I stopped dating. I just got to a point where it wasn't really that important anymore. I mean, that's not to say I wouldn't meet somebody, like, tomorrow. Of course, I'd have to go outside my house more. But, or down the road a year from now. Or 5 years from now. And that person be the end of it all. Because each new time you meet somebody and you fall in love again, and that love is receptive, and you're given the love too, and you build a layer, you can have everlasting love. I mean, you can love more than once. That's, I guess, the end result of what I've learned in life. Is you have the ability and the capacity to love more than once. That's why I believe in polymarriages. And the reason I know this is because even though you love everybody in your life differently, you still are able to love your spouse or your mate. You're still able to love your children. You're still able to love your siblings. You're still able to love your parents. You still love the guy down the street who, is your best buddy or your best girl, or whatever you want to call it. You have that capacity to love in so many different ways. What determines the difference in the love is the way that your brain registers it. So your spouse, there's the intimacy that includes sexuality and things that you talk to and share with the spouse that you don't share with those other people. With your children, there are things that you share with them and don't share with them that you don't share with other people. There's pieces and parts of you that you give up and you get back pieces and parts, hopefully, if you have a nice, solid relationship. In my case, there was always a lot of giving, but not much getting, or a lot of giving and not much giving. It was always very heavily one-sided on either side, and I'm not going to put the blame on other people. It's just as much my fault as it is theirs. So, quickly, though, the type of people I tend to be attracted to very large men, very big, heavy warrior, like just by looking at them, people are, you know, bouncer type, just afraid to. They don't have to be really heavily muscular. They just have to look like it would take you a while to get them down. And the reason, again, being I was deadly afraid of my father my whole life. And I always wanted somebody that could be there to protect me. Not so much take care of me, because I wanted to take care of them. That's the part of my personality I know. I'm a taker care of. I take care of people. I help people. I love making people's lives happy. That's the inner part of me, who I am. But so I want to make this person happy, and that person would return by keeping me secure and safe away from this person that always threatened my life. My father's dead now, so I don't have to worry about that, but I still have that little girl feeling inside that there's got to be somebody out there to protect me against the rest of the world who sees me as being this really oddball thing. All right, so this one's really long. I'll try to edit it down really short. Otherwise, if you got this far, kudos to you. Woo! And if not, it's all right. But to all of you who are here, love you, kisses, hugs, and love, 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 love. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.